nowadays in total India we got a coronavirus. So इसके वास्ते हमारा डायमंड ग्रुप ऑफ कॉलेजेस से take a decision. What's that means? We are updating the videos online classes. So please go through the online videos from today onwards. So don't waste your time. So please go through the classes today onwards. Right. Now I am going to start the chemistry chapter, that is solid state. So the chapter means solid state. So actually for PU syllabus, according to PU syllabus, the solid state carries a total 7 marks. From the 7 marks, we got the 1 2-mark questions and 1 5-mark question. It is the total syllabus, total marks for the solid state. Now, actually, already we know that what that means. The matter exists in a main 3 types. They are the first one is solid state, second one is liquid state, the third one is gaseous state. How do you know that? What's that? The matter can exist in 3 main types. The first one is a solid state, second one is a liquid state, the third one is a gaseous state. And the fourth one is a all-solid state, that is belongs to the plasma state. So the fourth state of the matter belongs to plasma state. Actually, the plasma state means the hydrogen molecules are converted into the helium. Actually, this process happens in the universe. So, like the sun and stars. Sun and stars getting this process. So, in plasma state, one molecule is converted into the another molecule. So, one element is converted into the another element. This what happens in the sun and stars, simply in the universe. That means in the universe, 99% of the matter in the universe, 99% of the matter in the universe is covered with the plasma state only. So the 99% of the matter in the universe is covered with the plasma state only. So here the total universe is almost covered with the plasma state. That means one atom or one element is converted into the another element. So the plasma state is also known as superheated gaseous state. The plasma state is also known as the superheated gaseous state. So in the superheated gaseous state, one atom is converted into the another atom. And then our one more state of matter is that belongs to the fifth state, belongs to the super cooled solid state. supercooled solid state. So the fifth state of the matter belongs to the supercooled solid state. So in the supercooled solid state, the matter can exist. So in this supercooled solid state, the atom loses its identity. The atoms loses its identity and get condensed and behaves like a single superatom. So here the supercooled solid state means in this supercooled solid state the atoms loses its identity and get condensed. Condensed means it get together. So the atoms are all get together to form a condensed state, and it behaves like a single superatom. So here the atoms, almost all the atoms are condensed. Means so it is the condensed form. So the condensed of the atoms is converted into a single superatom. So it loses the single individuality of the atoms is loses in the fifth state of matter. So here this fifth state of the matter is explained through Bose-Einstein condensation. Bose-Einstein condensation. So the fifth state of the matter can be explained through the Bose-Einstein condensation concept. Bose-Einstein condensation concept. Simply, it is taken as the BEC concept. So here, these are the total 5 states of the matter so far. Now come to the here, now we are going to discuss about the solid state. So before that, we discussed the types of the matter. What are they? The solid state, liquid state, gaseous state, plasma state. It is also called as the superheated gaseous state. The fifth state of the matter belongs to the supercooled solid state. Next, the properties of the solids or the characteristics of the solids. So what are the characteristics of the solid? Actually, in the solid state, the atoms are arranged in close pack. So here it is atoms. The atoms are present in the close pack in solids. Like in the liquids, the atoms are maintained a small distance. In gases, the atoms are in far away from one another. So here, the characteristics of the solids. So it's mean the solid means the atoms are closely packed, and in liquids the atoms are maintain a small distance, and in the gaseous state the atoms are far away from. So now, what are the characteristics of the solids? The first one belongs to the atom. The atoms are closely packed. First one, the atoms are closely packed. Next, the second one, the solids having the solids having definite shape. The solids having definite shape and also definite material. So the first one, the atoms are closely packed. Already we seen that. Next, second one, the solids having the definite shape and value. Now, the third one, the atom, the solids having high melting and boiling points. High melting points and boiling points. Melting points and boiling points. So now, what is the melting point? So the melt means the solid is converted. The solid is converted into the liquid. The temperature is known as the melting point. The temperature at which the solid substance is converted into the liquid, that temperature is known as the melting point. Simple example, suppose we can go to the ice cream parlor, then we can get the ice cream. Suppose one friend is came here and he can meet with 5 minutes. Then automatically the ice cream get melts. Means the solid initially we got the solid state, so the solid is converts into the liquid. Means the melting point means the solid is converts into the liquid. Next the boiling point. Suppose the boiling point means the temperature at which the liquid is converts into the gases. Boiling point means the liquid is converts into the gaseous state. Then the temperature is known as the boiling point. So simply the temperature at which the liquid is converted to the gaseous state, that temperature is known as the boiling point. Now here the water is water is converted into the water. Liquid is converted into the water vapor. So the temperature is called as the boiling. So the solids having a high melting and boiling points. High melting and boiling points. Next step, the solids having having high densities. Solids having high density. So because of the closed vacuum structure, these are having a high densities. High densities. Next step, the fifth one, these are having a least compressibility. These are having least compressibility and also least thermal energy. Least thermal energy. So here the solids having the least compressibility. So the compression is very low for the solids when compared to the liquids and the gases. So the gas get condensed. So the compressibility is very high. Like in the case of the liquid, if we can condense, then the compressibility is somewhat high. Now come to the solid side. Suppose the compressibility is taken the solid side, it is almost very low. That's right. So the in solid side is having least compressibility and least thermal energy also. Next step, the sixth point. In solid side, the molecules having low energy. Molecules having low energy. So in the solids, the molecules having a low energy. Next, last point. So in solids, the molecules having only vibrational energies, only vibrational motion. Simple. So here in solids, the molecules having only the vibrational motions. But they do not have the translatory motions. And the rotatory motions. So here in solids, the molecules having only the vibrational motion, So vibration motion. So here the molecule is having only get the vibration, but these do not have any the translatory motion. Means suppose here is the molecules. So these are already close back. Now what is the translatory motion? Means this molecule is transferred here, again this molecule is get transferred here. So this type of translatory motions does not exist in the solid state. The translatory motions does not exist in the solids. But one molecule cannot translate with the another molecule. It belongs to the translatory motion. So it does not happen. And what about the rotatory motion? So rotatory motion means again here. So because of the closed packing structure, the rotation of the molecule does not take place in the solid state. So here the molecule cannot rotate. That's why this in a solid state the rotatory motions are absent and the translatory motions are also absent. But we can get only the vibrational motions only. So in the molecules of the solid state, we can get only the vibrational motions, but not the translatory and the rotatory motions. It belongs to the total characteristics of the solids. So I will revise once again. So the characteristics of the solids. So what are solids? So the first one, the atoms or molecules are closely packed. Second one, the solids having a definite shape and a definite volume, definite shape and a definite volume. The third one, the solids having a high melting and boiling points, high melting points and high boiling points. So what is meaning of the melting point? The temperature at which the solid substance is converted to the liquid, that temperature is known as a melting point. What about the boiling point? The temperature at which the liquid substance is converted to the gaseous substance, that is known as the boiling point. From the fourth one, the fluids having a high density because of the closed packing structures, these are having a high densities. Next, the fifth one, the solids having the least compressibility and the least thermal energy. So here the thermal energy and the compressibility also least. But so next, the solid molecules having a low energy. So because of the low energy, they will get a close pack. Next, the solid molecules having only the vibrational motions, but not the translatory or rotatory motions. This is about the characteristics of the solids. Now the classification of the solids. Now the next topic goes to the classification of the solids. Actually, the classification of the solids is mainly classified into two types. The first one, based on the structural features. So the classification of the solids is mainly of two types. The first one is based on the structural features of the solids. We can get the first classification. Second classification based on intermolecular forces of attraction. Simply the intermolecular forces of attraction. So the solids are classified into two types. Those are first one the based on the structural features, second one based on the intermolecular forces of attraction. The first one based on the structural features, second one intermolecular forces of attraction. Now again based on the structural features, these are again classified into two types. One is a crystalline. Crystalline solids. Next, the second one is a amorphous solids. So here, the first one is a crystalline solids. Second one is a amorphous solids. Next, based on the intermolecular types of forces of attraction, these are classified into total four types. The first one is a ionic solids. Second one, covalent solids. And the third one is a metallic solids. Molecular solids. Right. Now, the classification of solids based on the structural features again is classified into two types. The first one is a crystalline solids. Second one is a amorphous solids. Next, the second type based on the intermolecular forces of attraction, simply intermolecular forces of attraction. Again, these are classified into four types. The first one is a ionic solids, second one covalent solids, third one metallic solids, the fourth one molecular solids. Now, come to the first one, the based on the structural features. Based on the structural features, the fluids are classified into two types already we discussed. So the first one is a crystalline. Second one is a amorphous solids. Now, ये दोनों के बीच में differences है देखिए. So in between in the crystalline solids and the amorphous solids we got the differences. The first one, in the crystalline solids the atoms are yet closely packed. Right? So here in the crystalline solids these are having definite geometry. So in crystalline solid. In crystalline solid say the solids are having a definite geometry. Here the solids are a indefinite geometry. Indefinite geometry. So here in the crystalline solid side, these are having a definite geometry. Here these are having a indefinite geometry. Next second one. These are having a sharp melting point. These are having a sharp melting point. Already we discussed about the definition of the melting point. So now these are having the sharp melting points. Here these are having a range of melting points. Now, what about the sharp melting point? Means suppose a crystalline solid having the melting point belongs to 47 degrees centigrade. So here, in any way, the melting point of the particular crystalline solid is only the 47 degrees centigrade. Suppose here a range of melting points. A range of melting point means the amorphous solid is having the melting point 94 degrees centigrade to 95 degrees centigrade. So it belongs to the range of melting points. But it may get 94 degrees, 94.2 degrees centigrade, 94.5 degrees centigrade, or 93 degrees, 95 degrees centigrade. So it belongs to the range of melting points. So here in crystalline solids, these are having only a sharp melting point. So only one sharp melting point is present in the crystalline solid. Whereas in a amorphous solid, we got only the range of melting points. But it varies in between two different melting points. It may be 94 to 95, 95 to 96, whatever the melting point it is. So we got in between two melting points, we got the melting points here. So for example, the melting point of the one amorphous solid belongs to 94 degrees to 95 degrees centigrade. Then the 94 degrees centigrade, 94.2 degrees centigrade, 94.5 degrees centigrade, or 95 degrees centigrade may come here. It is the meaning of the range of melting point. Why it is happens like this? It means already we discussed earlier, the crystalline solid means the atoms are arranged in a particular way, in regular manner. So here, if we can divide this solid into four different states, four different parts. So here first part, second part, third part, and fourth part. So here because of the same melting points are happened here. So the structural atoms are having similar structure. That's why it is having 47 degrees centigrade. It is also having 47 degrees centigrade. It is also having 47 degrees centigrade. It is also having 47 degrees centigrade. But in case of the amorphous solids, the atoms are not present like so. Here in amorphous solids, the atoms are present. So these are atoms. Now here, if this amorphous solid is divides into four parts, then here the atoms are arranged here only in a regular way, but here we got in a irregular way. That's why here we got the melting point. So here 94 degrees centigrade. It may get the 94.2 degrees centigrade. It may get 94.5 degrees centigrade. It may get the 95 degrees centigrade because of the arrangement of the atoms. So here in crystalline solids we got the regular arrangement. In amorphous solids we got the irregular arrangement of the atoms. So because of this arrangement of the atoms in the amorphous form, amorphous solids, amorphous solids having a range of melting point. So due to this arrangement of the atoms in the molecules. Now come to the next one. Now the third point, these are belongs to these are true solids. True solids. Here these are pseudo solids. So these are called true solids and these are called pseudo solids. Pseudo solids another name is also there, belongs to the supercooled. So pseudo solids are supercooled liquids. Supercooled liquids. Why the amorphous solids are called as the supercooled liquids means the amorphous solids having the properties it is similar to that of the liquids. The amorphous solids having the properties which similar to that of the liquids. That's why it is also called as the supercooled liquids. So the third point, the crystalline solids are true solids, whereas the amorphous solids are pseudo solids are the supercooled liquids. Supercooled liquids. Now the fourth one, these are anisotropy in nature. Anisotropy in nature. And the fourth one, these are isotropy in nature. Isotropy in nature. So these are anisotropy and these are isotropy in nature. Now what is the meaning of the anisotropy and isotropy? So here first of all, what is the isotropy? What is the isotropy? So isotropy means the physical property of a solid substance having same values when measured along different directions. Is known as a isotropy. So what does isotropy? Here the physical properties of a solid substance having the same value. So the physical properties of the solid set use the same values. When these are measured along different directions. So different directions में हमको same values दिए समझो, आगे समझो. That property is called as a isotropy. Because what meaning of iso? Iso means the the same. So what are the same here? The values are same here. So the physical properties का value same आना. So कब आना तो that different directions got the same values. So it is called as a isotropy. So the physical properties of the solids having the same values when measured along a different directions, that property of the substance is called as a isotropy. Simply the same values at different directions. So the isotropy means the solids having a same value set at a different directions, those are called as a isotropy. Now, what about the anisotropy? This means anisotropy. So same definition but quite opposite. That means anisotropy means an isotropy. So an means the opposite word. So isotropy means having same values. Anisotropy means opposite word belongs to the different values at a different directions. So the different at a different directions. So here isotropy means the same values must be taken along with the different directions. But in anisotropy, quite opposite. That means the different values are given at different directions. Just make the definition. So what is the definition? The anisotropy means the physical property of a solid substance having the different values when measured along the different directions. Anisotropy. So isotropy means the same values must be taken along the different directions, and anisotropy means the different values must be taken along the different directions. So simply example in isotropy, in glass we taken glass is an example, and in anisotropy we can get the suppose we can get one pen here. Suppose if the pen is taken and through this pen we got the passage of the light, then we can get the different colors. Simply the Vibzion are present in each and every direction of the pen. So we can take this pen in any direction. So in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, whatever the direction it is, we can get only the Vibzion. But in case of the diamond, if the directions of the diamond will change, then we can get the change in the colors. That belongs to the anisotropy. So here diamond position change किए समझो, diamond का position, the direction change किए समझो, the color से हमको differently आ जाता होगा. That's why it belongs to the anisotropy. And the isotropy means the pen लेके हम कौन सा direction में लिए तो भी the rays pass किए तो भी हमको any direction लिए तो भी हमको same colors आता. That belongs to the isotropy. So isotropy